It is not easy preparing slides, I have to tell you. The counter urbanization, what I need from you is to give me the definition. So prepare your skeletal notes. Definition of counter urbanization, causes of counter urbanization, and the impacts as have been put on the board. These are the three main areas under consideration today. Definition of counter urbanization. I forgot the re-urbanization. You see, after you have moved from the rural area to the urban area to create urbanization, the negative aspect of life in the urban areas will cause you to move back to the rural area. This is what's called the counter urbanization. Re-urbanization is after you have also come back to the rural areas, there is another thought of going back to the city. And this is what we call the re-urbanization. So take note of the three main terms. Urbanization caused by rural-urban migration. Counter-urbanization caused by urban-rural migration. Re-urbanization is a situation where the individual who has just come back to settle in the rural area now wants to go and enjoy another city life. Maybe they have got some contracts to make some economic activity there. They have won some contracts to go and build for the city dwellers. All these will cause that. So three main terms: urbanization, counter-urbanization, and re-urbanization. I want to stress that these are all syllabus terms that we need to note. So counter-urbanization is when large numbers of people, yes, what's this? For the re-urbanization. To improve the city center by offering some planning work, planning, where some areas are being broken down or they have gone run down, they go to rebuild the place through a process we call gentrification. Underline it and write it down. The term gentrification. When you go to the urban structures, you are going to meet these terms. Gentrified, gentrification. What is it? Gentrification. So put down all these terms. Gentrification, a situation where an area in the city that has become run down is renewed. It is bought by wealthy individuals. They pull down the buildings and restructure the place through what we call urban renewals or urban redevelopment. Urban renewal or urban redevelopment. Gentrification, a situation where wealthy individuals purchase the rundown areas and then they renew the place by building new infrastructures in those areas. Can you go to the next? Have you finished? I can't be dragged. I'm saying that the problem comes with this we talk of inner city areas. When we start the structure of urban growth, the structure of urban land use, an area we call inner city. An inner city is an area that we use as an industrial area, but because of the collapse of the industries, the place has been left unattended to. So that place has become decayed. That's what we call urban decay. Urban decay. When that area is decaying, the authorities will not allow the place to become decayed forever and ever. there is a conscious effort on the part of the government to renew the place through what we call gentrification, urban renewal, or urban redevelopment. So take that. The whole work we are doing have been captured here. So take your time and let's discuss this one after the other. The causes of counter-urbanization. Counter-urbanization. Why are people moving back from the city to the rural areas? One of them is a lifestyle change. When you want to have a new lifestyle, a new job opportunities at the rural areas will bring you back. Affordability of the houses. When the housing in the urban areas becomes so costly that you can afford, but you can afford those in the rural areas, it will push you back. The quality of life in these areas, the serene nature of the place, the quietness, the community need, all these will send you back. So bullet them in your notes. The point of retirement, as Nanake said, old age. He's talking about retirement. When you go on retirement, you want to go and resettle with your family back home. When there is improvement in the road network and communication network, it serves as a stimuli to bring people back to the rural areas. So when that remoteness is removed, where people can easily move from the city center to the rural area, it enhances counter-urbanization. So look at the points there. Look at the points there and master them. Use them as the factors that are affecting the movement of people from the cities, towns, back to the rural areas. Lifestyle changes. Lifestyle changes. Job opportunities that have been provided in this area. Affordable housing. Comparatively, the cost of housing in the rural areas are relatively lower. And so people will choose to go and settle there. Quality of life, oxygen. Man, I prefer you. Oxygen. Pure oxygen. As against carbon dioxide in the city centers. Road network. We found out from the beginning that most rural areas are remote. They are found difficult to be accessed. But when there is now the accessibility, construction of road, internet access are all available, it draws people to that place. Now look at the points that we have raised and the questions that the examiners ask you. The question is, with the aid of examples, please take note, write it down in your notes and use it as a form of revision. With the aid of examples, evaluate, underline the term, evaluate the extent to which improvements in transport and communications may make rural settlements more attractive for urban rural migrants. Urban rural migrants. Pardon? As we go again. With the aid of examples, that we draw examples, I've given you some examples as some specific cities, dwellers who are moving back to some rural areas. Norfolk, I gave you Norfolk, Cornwall, Accra to Aburi. All these are examples we can use to support your work. But the skill here, please, I want to stress, the skill here, how to approach a question like this. You can see that I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. 6 points have been used to describe why people are moving from the city to the rural areas. Examiners will just ask a question for you to assess one of the points. So out of this, they have taken out the improvements in communications and transport. Build this clue right now. You need to write about the factors of rural, the factors about the transport and communication. How transport and communication aid counter urbanization. After writing exhaustively about this, the next thing that you have to do as a student or a candidate is to say that, however, there are other equally important factors that also help to promote counter urbanization. A case in point is lifestyle changes, job opportunities, affordable housing there, retirement, etc. You use this one as a source of assessment. Are you okay? That is the way you need to approach your work as you move towards the A levels. As you move towards the A levels. Now, if you talk of the lifestyle changes, as you are expanding your essay, lifestyle changes. What comes under lifestyle changes? The rise of remote work and digital nomadism. Digital, the use of internet, laptops, television, etc. If you are working in the urban areas and now you have access to internet in the rural areas, you can work remotely. So remote working has led to more people even enjoying staying in the rural areas than to come to the urban areas to enjoy, to suffer from the noise and the other negative externalities. The lifestyle that you want to go to the rural areas to enjoy the quieter and the more relaxed lifestyles. Please put them down as I talk. I expect that you take note. I have summarized it. To enjoy the peace and the tranquility in this area. That comes under the lifestyle changes. And as Tracy said, the lower cost of living in this environment. And so if we are talking about lifestyle changes, think of the remote work, teleworking, remote. We talk of digital nomadism, nomads. A nomad is a group of people who move from one place to another place, I mean, along with their herd of cattle and other. Yes, yes, yes. That is done. That's what the question is asking. That evaluate the factor of communication and transport that has led to counter urbanization. It's okay. Because of improvement in transport and communication, people are now willing to go back and live in the rural areas and work in a remote manner. It's okay. That's what he's saying. How is it different from what? The first, the life, it is linked. You can link it. You can link it. If you are talking about explanations, don't just compartmentalize them. They are interlinked. It's the flow of ideas that we need here. Job opportunities. We were saying that we don't have jobs in the rural areas, but now we have some jobs openings through agriculture, farming opportunities. So put them down. Energy, the use of windmills and solar panels production. All these are source of opportunities, employment opportunities. And tourism. Tourism is booming in most rural areas, especially along coastal areas. Like say Cornwall. Cornwall is booming in that tourism drive. And so it draws more people to those areas. So don't forget the job opportunities available now. The improved road, rail, and communication network, as we have just talked about. This reduces what you call friction of distance. Friction of distance. As you know already, distance decay. You remember? Distance decay. Here it's also talking about friction of distance. The difficulty in which you pass through to move from the urban area to the rural area has now been reduced. That friction has been smoothing because of the road network that has been improved. So it makes movement so easy. And for that matter, people are now willing and happy to go and live in those areas because they can have access to internet, work through that. Television is available, affordable housing. Compare the prices of houses. The rent in this area is so low. And so it's drawing people back to those areas. Quality of life, quality of life, quality of life, quality of life. You offer a very good quality of life, access to nature. You are close to nature. You can play with lion. You can play with leopards. You can play with elephants. A lot of birds around, snakes that are harmless. You can play with them. You can touch the trees. You can climb it. Monkeys, you can invite them. And yes, you are so close to them, close to nature. The dew that falls every morning, dewy eve, morning dew, so nice. It falls on you, it's a form of blessings. Little blessings. So don't joke with rural life. Don't joke with it. Access to nature. Pollution level is so low. We don't have a lot of industries here. No fossil fuels burning. A lot of cars burning fossil fuels, making the area so polluted. Dust. Oh my God. The place is a nice area to live. A nice area to live. And you're so close to your community. In the morning, you greet each other. It's not a matter of, but they are tightly knit. You greet the type of food you're eating. You can say, is it kalawale or what? Let me come and test it. They will give it to you. If they're pounding the fufu, you go there for it. They will give you some. Even if it's kokonte or whatever, you are all invited to enjoy. This does not happen in the urban areas. Urban areas are individualism. It breaks social ties, individualism. So check that. Check that. Put the points down. The last point is about retirement homes. Most people who retire want to go back to the rural areas to enjoy all the goodies that we have discussed, all the goodies that we have just discussed. So the retirees, they move to those places for that quiet, tranquil life, a more relaxed lifestyle. The cost of living there is so low. The crime waves. We not wake up in the morning to say we have been smuggled or some people are coming to kill you at your gunpoint. No, they don't do that as frequent as it is, as frequent as it is in the urban areas. So students, what I'm saying is that based on the information given you and based on the question given you, if you are asked to answer this question, follow the process we have passed through, because it's an evaluative form of a question. What the question is asking you, do justice in the factor that has been raised in the question. Here is about communication, transport, and communication. It has been improved now. So what are we saying? Try and explain and exhaust that point. After exhausting the points, then you draw all other important points to support the work. That is what evaluation is about. And then you conclude. Let me give you this. From now going, anytime I give you essay to write, let me have 3 main points, not points, 3 main segments. You need to introduce the work, introduce it, then you come to the body and you conclude. That is the structure and the plan I want you guys to go through. What is the time? 28. Now